Welcome back to another episode of Q&A. They're not really episodes, but I like to do them for the Discord because those are my people. And I appreciate you guys sending in the questions, so let's get to them. But before we do, I'm going to add, just because I'm a really tough guy and I want you guys to know how tough I am, I'm doing this all from an ice bath. And you can't see any pain on my face. That's because it's all inside. I'm dying right here, but I'm not going to show you any pain. There's ice. That was a little piece, but I don't have fingers on that hand to pick up a big piece. All right, let's get to the questions. First one from Wentworth. Who are your best friends from the challenge? It's such a good question, such a nice question. I love when people ask about the nice things that come from the challenge. Best friends from the challenge. Let's start with the people I talk to the most. Surprisingly, I talk to Swaggy the most. I stay really, really in touch with Zach, and he keeps everything up to date with he and Jenna. They got a baby on the way, so congrats to them. My boy Frank Sweeney, he and I have always been really, really close, like brothers. We fought like cats and dogs on the challenge, but we got so much love for one another. He's in Texas now. Shout out to Frank. How about our overseas people? I love Georgia. I love Joss. I love Rogan. Those guys are so funny. But I got to shout out to my number one England guy, Kyle. I love you, buddy. Been a minute, but I'll be excited to see you again. So those are probably my tops. Oh my God, how can I forget? I probably stay in closer touch with Turbo than anybody else, but you guys already know that, so he's an honorable mention. All right, from Captain Waggish. Waggish? Since we all know who the best male challenger of all time is, I'll just ask who the best female challenger of all time is. It's pretty easy. It's not that easy, but I think Laurel. For me, it's pretty like Laurel. She dominates. She got the size. She's got good endurance. I just dipped my phone in the water. Go Apple. Laurel's the best one. I've never done a challenge with Evelyn. I know she's super tough. A lot of people will call us rivals, but I think Cara is super tough. She's definitely up there in the top 3 for women. But Laurel smashes. She's Hulk smash for the women's side. Emily Schramm too. She's good. I just don't know if she's cutthroat enough. We all know Laurel is. So, Laurel. Best app for keeping one accountable for working out. Not that I've tried all the apps out there, but I do gotta say there was an app that I tried by a guy, Nick Bear, and they're out of Austin, Texas. And Nick is a dude who he's a bodybuilder type, but he also does Ironmans and triathlons. So he's got a really good hybrid athlete program. And he's got it set up in the app to where you can click if you've done it or not. And also on the run and cardio portions, you can track it from the app. So you don't necessarily need to use your run tracker. You can track it straight from the app, which to me is super helpful because I hate the tech side of fitness. I just want to sweat and then, that's it. But now we have to look at data. So if you're a data-driven athlete, try Nick Bear's hybrid athlete program. I forget what the name of the actual app is, but Nick Bear, B-A-R-E, Nick Bear, look him up. Okay, here we go. Sing on top. How about that? Nailed that one, huh? Yeah, that's like this is like reading license plates. You guys ever read license plates when you're driving, you try and make words out of them? That's what I'm trying to do out of some of your names right now. Hey, I have an idea. Use your name, maybe, and then I know what to call you. Then we'd actually be friends, because my name. I'm getting sidetracked, guys. It's the ice. The ice makes you really think about everything else but being cold. All right, here we go. Who do you think your biggest competitor when it comes to daily challenges, eliminations, and finals? It sounds like 3 questions in one. I like what you did there, Sing on top. That's efficient. But it's valid because I do think it takes a different person to win each one. Here we go. Who do I think is my biggest competitor in daily challenges? I think it's Johnny Bananas. I think Johnny Bananas is really crafty and he's he's been doing it for like longer than I've been alive. Like almost. That's not an exaggeration. 20 seasons. I'm only 19 years old, so you do the math. He's crafty, and that's the thing about winning dailies is there's like a thing to him. There's always like, can you figure out the thing? Unless it's just like run a mile and who can do it the fastest, which it's never that. So Johnny Bananas' biggest competitor for daily challenges. Eliminations, big guys. CT. CT is probably like the scariest dude to go out against elimination because he's huge. So if I had to move him, that would be impossible. And he's super smart, so we can do puzzles too. You know, a lot of you would probably say Fessy because of my last outing, but you know what? Still felt confident. I don't feel like he's that big of a threat because he's a dummy. He got a really lucky elimination, so I'm going with CT. CT's big, CT's smart, and don't let the dad bod fool you. He can move. Now, who is my biggest competitor in finals? I don't think that like there's anybody else in the finals game. Like if I'm in the final, it's over. Who would be my biggest competition? I might have said Derek, you know, Derek K, but smashed him with a broken leg. I'm probably Bananas. You know, like he's got a pretty good gas tank, and if it was going, if like every man for himself, maybe Bananas. I just don't see anybody going that long and that fast. So, I don't know. I stay king of the finals. If you didn't get eliminated on Rivals 2 because of the swim puzzle, do you think you would have won that final? Yeah. That was an easy question, Wag. Yeah. I had Marlon. Marlon is an amazing athlete. Those puzzles are ridiculous. Like those specific puzzles that we did, the geometric shapes with like the Tetris pieces, we've actually seen those 2 other times after that, and both times no one could solve it without like 4 tips from production. So those puzzles are super freaking hard. CT solved one, like the fuck. So he got one, solved one of the 3. Oh yeah, you know what? And Emily Schramm, she solved one as well. But that was it. Those are tough. So if you take those puzzles out of there, it's a pretty physical final. And I think the carrying of the sand, Marlon and I would have smashed that. And then the eating, you know, I think we really would have smashed that. Marlon can eat, and then I can move sand. So I think we would have done well. But you know, you got to be good at everything. So kudos to those boys. That was a really stacked final. You think about it, Frank Sweeney and Johnny Bananas on the same team. Frank's, oh my God, you know what? Going back to my other question, Frank's my biggest finals competitor, even though he doesn't do it anymore. Frank is the biggest, because he can run and he can lift and he's smart. So if Frank was still doing it, Frank would be the #1 finals guy. But yeah, Waggish, we would have won that final. But glad we didn't, learn how to play, and probably would have got way too big for my britches had I won the first one. You know what I'm saying? We all know how free agents went. See you later. All right. Now we got Catherine McCullum. Thank you, Catherine, for putting your fucking name, because now I know you, cat. Now I fucking know you, kitty cat. Now we're going to be friends. First name base. Okay? I'm going to call you kitty cat. You have no say. Who do you think should be on the hypothetical, the challenge Mount Rushmore? 4 girls, and then I get to be one of the 4 and pick 3 other guys. Which challenge should... Whoa! Kitty cat, you got 4 other questions on here. I'll let it slide because we're friends now on first name basis. All right, challenge Mount Rushmore for girls. Laurel, you know, because I think she's the greatest ever. Cara. She's been around, you know, she's always a toughie. Now, who paved the way for the tough girls? Coral. Coral gets to go up there for sure. And then, oh, here's one for you. Paula Walnuts. Paula's an OG. She's a tough cookie. So Paula's on there because the challenge isn't just competition. So I'll give you those 3. You got 2 throwbacks and 2 noobs. Paula just, you know, she was there when they had to play the game a lot different, so I'll give her those. Three other Mount Rushmore dudes. CT, Bananas, Wes, Jordan. But here's the thing. I wouldn't put me up there. I'd put Landon up there. I'd really give the Mount Rush. I just haven't been a lot, right? You know, like, I pick and choose when I come. Like, yeah, I've been around for, like, I got introduced, you know, my first season was, like, 12, 13 seasons of the challenge ago. But I've only done 6, you know. So, these guys, they've had a chance to, like, be there for a long time. And, you know, really set themselves up. So, I win a couple more. We can switch out Landon just because he had such a short career. But Landon's like the Barry Sanders. You know, he just retired too early. He probably would have definitely, like, won more. Which challenge season was the most fun to be a part of and why? Funnest challenge season? I liked Dirty 30 a lot. Dirty 30 was really cool because it was a Hallmark season for the network. So they threw a little bit more money at marketing. So we got to do a little bit more stuff. Like our trips out on the weekend were like a little bit cooler spots. Like we got to take a yacht out, not a yacht, but like a little like sailing schooner thing. Like got to take it out and snorkel. So that was really cool. Yeah, Dirty 30 in Colombia. Definitely most fun. It was also very stunt driven. That was one that was like, they threw a little bit more money at the stunts, so the stunts were a lot more fun. We did like car stuff. We jumped off of buildings. It was cool. That was a good one. All right, Catherine. What has been the best life lesson you've learned from your experience on the challenge? Best life lesson I've ever gotten from the challenge. It sticks with me and I remember it every day. Ironically, it came from Zach Nichols, and he told me this was on Rivals 2, my first one, and I was getting very frustrated, and I was just learning how like this game goes, and Zach just looks at me, and I'm just blue in the face with frustration, and he goes, "Hey, you can't argue with stupid. They'll only bring you down to their level and beat you every time." And you know what? That's fucking true. And it's never been more true and prominent than the Challenge House. Because these people are searching for storylines. They're searching for anything to be a part of the show because they suck. Physically, they suck. So they're just trying to be a part of some reality television. And you know what? Sometimes you get sucked in because you got nothing better to do. That's dumb. Don't do that. And that's a life lesson. Don't get sucked into the dum-dums. Be a lion. Don't be a sheep. Don't argue with stupidity. If you could redo any mission or daily challenge, which would it be? Either because you know what you would do now, or because it was so much fun. Biggest mistake? So if I could redo any decision because of what I know now, I would not be so gung-ho about getting my Red Skull in Total Madness. So in Total Madness, once Tori left, I was like, well, fuck this. It was all to get her a win. And I was like, yeah, I really don't want to stay here. This place sucks. And I was really emotional about that decision. I was like, screw it. I'll go in. If I wouldn't have gone in, I would have gotten a skull later. And I definitely would have won that final. Because hindsight 2020. And then if I could change the decision, if I could go back and do a mission or do a daily again, we had this mission on Free Agents where we had to drive this car. It was a badass Alfa Romeo. You had to drive this car and then slam on the brakes, stop in a certain spot, and then get out and do this course on a bicycle backwards. If I could go back and do that, that was an amazing car. I would have said, fuck this challenge. We were on a track. And I would have just taken that car around the track a few times until they really made me stop and then be like, oops, I lose. But I'd had the experience of driving the shit out of that car. So that's probably what I'd do if I go do it again. here's an honorable mention. I'm gonna say it's honorable mention because I'm not gonna answer it because it's super fucking long. But here's why it's honorable. Jordan, can you break down your seasons from your POV? The eliminations you had, alliances and moves you made, and what you were thinking during the finals, etc. Certified Sing, that's a good freaking question. It's a lot of questions there, and there's a lot to elaborate on, so here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna put out another video breaking each season down. There'll be a video for each season, and I'll go through any of the major stuff that happened. I'll go through the alliance moves that I made, and what I was thinking in the eliminations and finals, or if I didn't make the final, what I was thinking on my ride home. So, Certified Sing, good freaking question. Stay tuned for a couple videos breaking each one of those down. Well, thank you guys so much for joining me in my cold tub. I'm really freaking cold, and now it's time to get out. Oh yeah! Needles.